Hello everyone, and today I'm gonna teach you how to do a proper VOD review. Reviewing VODs is mandatory if you want to climb in whatever game you're playing the fastest way possible and just become a better player overall. But the problem is, there's a lot of players that just don't know how to do a proper VOD review. And I've seen that with the players I've coached personally, with teammates I've been in, with teams I've coached. Usually the VOD reviews aren't great. So today I'm going to give you just a few tips to make them more efficient and make you climb faster. The first tip is obviously to analyze simply yourself. Don't focus on teammates, don't focus on mistakes they make, they are irrelevant to you. It is okay sometimes to get scored in Rocket League because a teammate did a mistake. That's okay. You need to focus on yourself. Could you have saved it? Was there a way you could have prevented that? Was there a way you could have anticipated the mistake? And when you focus on yourself, you need to make sure that you focus on macro play, decision making, not mechanical mistakes. Everyone can point out their mechanical mistakes in any game probably as soon as they make it. If you whiff a ball in Rocket League, you know you whiffed it. If you miss a flash and you flash into a wall in League of Legends, if you miss a skill shot, I could go on and on and on. Usually players are really good at knowing when they make mechanical mistakes, but VOD reviews are not made for that. You need to improve decision making, so that means you need to look at the macro. Was the play good? Maybe you missed out on the execution and you lost the fight, but if the play was good, then great, you need to continue doing that. If you put yourself in a bad spot and made you lose that fight, then you need to analyze what happened. Which brings me to the next point, is identifying mistake without actually diving deeper is useless. I've seen a lot of players go into the VOD reviews. They're great at pointing out when they made mistakes, but usually they just go, okay, I made a mistake here, and then they move on. And they're like, I made a mistake there, and I made a mistake there. Okay, but like, what's the point? That's useless. You need to dive deeper. All right, you made a mistake. Why? What was the context? What led to that? Rewind, take your time, press pause, look at your teammates, look at the map, look at every tool you have to make sure to understand what was the decision making, what was the process in your brain that actually led to that mistake. It is impossible when you're playing in a game to actually like focus and analyze like the mistakes you made, right? It's going to be really difficult. If you die in League of Legends, you need to use that time proactively and think about the future. If you whiff in Rocket League, the goal animation is just not long enough to actually realize what happened, especially since mistakes usually are a series of mistakes. More often than not, the one mistake that actually like really sticks out like a sore thumb is not the only mistake. It's usually like a string of them that led to that like big moment which you can actually focus. So every time you see a mistake, dive deeper. Press pause, rewind, look at everything around it. Also, one important thing is not to overanalyze. You could spend an hour, 2 hours in a League of Legends replay or Counter-Strike replay, just watching every single step and making sure what was the possibility, did I take the good action or not? It's going to take hours. That's not efficient. That's not how you want to improve quickly. You need to focus on one or two things. If you're playing League of Legends, for example, do you want to focus on your laning phase? Do you want to focus on objective teamfight, objective takedowns? If you play Rocket League, do you want to really focus on the offense, on the defense? You need to narrow your analysis to make sure that it's actually going to be efficient. You don't want to spend 2 hours per game because that's just way too long. Too much information is like not enough information. So just focus on a few things and watch those specific moments. You'll see that your VOD reviews will actually be faster and you'll learn a lot more from them. Ultimately, a VOD review is to improve decision making, right? We've said that a bunch of times. But the key thing here is to recognize patterns, right? It's all about pattern recognition. That's words that we use often in coaching. It's something that is really, really important in either TFT, League of Legends, Rocket League, Counter-Strike. Every single competitive game has patterns. You need to recognize them. That's why spending time in a VOD review is often more useful than grind 10 hours a day of the same game and get into the autopilot. Usually it's going to be great to actually like break this kind of string of autopilot when you stop your play session to do a VOD review. It's going to reset the gears in your brain, and it's really important to make sure that you don't waste 12 hours a day on a game. That is not how you improve quickly. Number of games is not better than quality of games. Now here's a few tips to actually like make them more enjoyable. Try to do VOD reviews with someone else. Usually it's going to be great if they're better at the game than you are, or if they're around the same level. That does not mean that actually reviewing with someone who's lesser skilled than you is not good. Quite the contrary, just always having a second opinion will almost always be better than doing it alone. But sometimes it's not possible. Get a friend if you can, get a coach if you can, that's even better. But if you're forced to do it alone, that's okay. Try to aim for like 1 to 2 game reviews per week if you're a casual gamer. If you just do a few games per week, then you might do only one and it's going to be enough. If you're a hardcore grinder that plays like 10 hours on Saturdays, then definitely at least watch 1 or 2 games in this specific day, and maybe 1 game a day even if you're like a hardcore grinder. I remember when I used to play like Rocket League 8 hours a day, definitely doing like at least 1 review a day would have improved my skills tremendously. Also, you might think this doesn't apply to you, but I swear to God it does. It applies to every single players. Every time I actually reached out to pros and I've talked to them, what's the most important thing to improve in the game? This has been true for League of Legends, this has been true for Rocket League, it's been true for TFT, it's been true in every single game. They all are unanimous. VOD reviews is the best way to improve. I hope you will do it. It's really important, guys. I cannot stress this enough. As a coach, I'm always torn apart when I see great players and they spend 0 time actually doing VOD reviews. That's why you plateau, guys. Actually, like, knowing your mistakes is difficult when you're playing a game. Realizing like what happened is difficult in a game. You might blame RNG for a TFT loss, but if you actually watch a review, you might see that you had actually like plenty of outs. I hope you enjoyed this video. Good luck in your VOD reviews, and I hope you enjoyed this esports content. See you next time.